So we jumping right in to our first question. What are you willing to try that is outside of your comfort zone? Just a little bit outside of your comfort zone. What are you willing to try that is just outside of your comfort zone? Maybe it is slow dancing at 6 a.m. I know comfort, sometimes we think that what we want to do, we think that we think we're trying to set ourselves up for comfort, but comfort is not the point. I think that comfort is seductive. It's like a seductive place where we kind of go to not be the best that we could be, you know? We want to be comfortable, but we don't want to be stagnant, right? We realize that at some point when we get a little too comfortable, we start to fall into a little bit of a malaise. We stop stretching, we stop reaching for what's possible for us. We just kind of sink in to a routine, and then, you know, it turns into something else. You have to try to shake it up sometimes, I think. So what's something that you're willing to try? Val says, I think I would try to talk to more people. It's hard though, because I overthink it. I want to talk to people, but then I be in my head about it, thinking about it, like, oh. I can appreciate that. Definitely take some courage to get out of that. So Billy says, I like to give myself a challenge and wear women's clothing and makeup just to give myself a challenge. Okay. Just to give yourself a challenge. Full beat face. Full face, Billy. All right. Makeup is challenging, Miss Fire says. Kudos. Kaloli is here. What's happening, Kaloli? We're talking about that comfort zone. I know that that's a thing for you. A lot of times you feel like you're kind of in there. So Joe's L says to read. I'm not good at it, but there's only one way to get good at it though, and that's to do it. So you want to read. Is there something specific that you want to read? Or like, because there's of course the you getting by just being able to interpret your surroundings, but is there a specific challenge that you want to face with your reading? Books. You want to read books. Okay. So for Tim, outside of the comfort zone is to play spades with the husband's family. Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one because, if you mess up, people take that real serious because it's a team situation. It's just not, other people's reputations and bragging rights rest on your ability to play your cards right. So you know, it'd be fights about to break out. People, I don't know, it's so serious, right? Can you play though? Do you know how to play? Do you know how to cheat? So outside of the comfort zone for a misfire, just apply for car financing. Putting work into the car I have would put me upside on a loan. So gonna do this car lot thing. Not comfortable with it, but Uber is more expensive at this point. Yeah, I gotta save that money. Uber is dear right now. Uber, Lyft, all of them. You're on the wrong side of that equation. Everybody losing. So Miss gonna get that whip. I hear you. So Night Walker says, the transition between being with people and being alone is my comfort zone. Either of the two extremes would help me in some way. So being able to be comfortable with people and being completely without people is outside of your comfort zone. You like to be in between. On the move. Because you're a walker. You just walk. You move through spaces. So, what is something outside of your comfort zone? I guess for Nightwalker, either if basically the thing that you have to do is to be still. You know, you have to be still, because as long as you're on the move, you're never going to be completely alone and you're never going to be completely connected. So Miss says, should I get a gym membership for $45 a month? Y'all ain't got no Planet Fitness out there? Planet Fitness get you about 10, don't they? But what do you get for that 45? You get a sauna. Yeah. I mean, it's a nice gym. Planet Fitness is a nice gym. Nice in the fact that you can work out. I know one time I got a gym membership at a Gold's Gym, which is more like a bodybuilder's hardcore heavy lifting weight gym. And I went in there and I had one session with one of the trainers, and she just like made me not want to ever go back. You know, if you go and they make you throw up the first time you go to the gym and train with them, it's like, man, you got to face yourself. Yeah. So at this one, you get an accountability partner. Yeah, you can get an accountability partner, and both of y'all can go to Planet Fitness and save $70. Oh man! So y'all go ahead and throw some green hearts in the chat real quick for me. I'd appreciate it. Read Aretha is up and listening. So for Noble Ancient, outside of the comfort zone, my answer would be to go to a sporting event like a baseball game, as crowds are not my thing normally, and I'm not active into sports. So we'll be stepping outside of my comfort zone if I went to see a game around a bunch of people. So Billy's a rebel. So there's a specific reason that I asked for green hearts, but do what you want, Billy. It's okay. Billy might be colorblind. All right. So are we ready? We can get ready to jump into our next prompt. So for my cousin Etheline says, outside of my comfort zone is being in a crowded area, like going to a graduation. It's that season. Graduation season is upon you. So maybe you got to go see somebody walk across that stage. Yeah. Cousin Etheline don't want to be in no crowd like that. Billy says, gross, graduation. Didn't you just, Billy, weren't you just talking about graduating? Oh, okay. So let's get ready to jump into this next one. I'm going to reset the request box for you momentarily. And this is the question. What do you choose to stop apologizing for? So, because Etheline says, I do my great grand's graduation today. So that's why you up early. Got to get your nerve right to go out there, be around all them folks. Where are they graduating from? Who graduating today? Oh, let's see. All right. So as we think for a second, what do you choose to stop apologizing for? Originally, I worded the question, what do you need to stop apologizing for? But I don't like to use that word need. You choose to. You know, you choose to stop apologizing. Because it's not me. It's not up to me to tell you what you got to do. So Aubrey and Kobe are graduating today. Congratulations. Put some caps in there. Put some caps in the chat, some graduation caps in the chat for everybody who's graduating. It's that season. Yeah, as you're thinking about what it is that you choose to stop apologizing for, do you find yourself saying I'm sorry a lot? Like, oh, sorry, you know. There's different ways to say when you mess up, or, you know, there are different ways to communicate. Joe's L says, I choose to stop apologizing for not being a perfect human. I choose to stop apologizing for not being perfect. That's a good one. Is that sorry, not sorry, right? Noble says, I choose to stop apologizing for my actions and choices. That's a blanket statement. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we want to. Okay. What are you doing though? Okay. So I choose to stop apologizing for my actions and choices as they are changing for the better as I adventure. I used to apologize for almost everything growing up. Now, not so much. So are you apologizing less because you're making better choices? Or you just don't care? Oh man. So Billy says, I will not apologize for being who I am, no matter who I date, male, female, trans, etc. And I will not apologize for my opinions and for how I could be viewed by others. I will never apologize. Billy's like, I will never apologize for being myself. There you go. Billy's unapologetic. Joe's L says, I need to remind myself sometimes that I'm not perfect, just like everyone else. No one is perfect. If you don't remind yourself that you're not perfect, then your life and your circumstances and the way that things turned out will remind you. So Miss says, I replace sorry with excuse me when I bump into someone or sneeze, etc. Yeah, it seems like just semantics, but language is really important, right? Language is really important because when you say I'm sorry, are you being sorry is like, nobody wants to be sorry. That's like an indictment. It's an affirmation. Yeah. So I think, so there are a few different options. Like let's say if you're late for something, it's like, oh, sorry, I'm late. Just say, instead of doing that, say, thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience. All right. Tim says, I'm going to choose not to apologize when I'm not available when people want me to be. I just say, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm not going to be able to, but maybe we can try another time. Maybe we can try another time. I think, a lot of times we feel like we're walking around indebted to everyone. Nightwalker says, I'm tired of feeling sorry for how I feel because it doesn't fit some people's expectations. Yeah, some people are invested in the way that you happen to be showing up. Yeah, these are things that maybe you don't need to apologize for. Sometimes it feels like we are tiptoeing when we should just be walking. Joe's L, thank you so much for the like. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into the next prompt. And this seems like, hopefully you'll see the connection. Who's your favorite villain? Who's your favorite villain? And what trait or traits do you admire in your favorite villain? Thank you, Miss Fire. Thank you, Tim, for the likes. So the question, who is your favorite villain and what traits do you admire in them? So Tim says Voldemort, and I admire Voldemort's persistence. Voldemort. You know, villains tend to be persistent, right? I think the most persistent villain in the history of storytelling is Wile E. Coyote. Wile E. Coyote is the most persistent villain ever, I think. No one has failed more. Because at some point it's like, just get something else. So Carmen Sandiego. Okay, hold on a second. Before we go deeper in it, is Carmen Sandiego a villain? Maybe I don't know maybe I don't know the story. Okay, just because she's a criminal doesn't mean that she's the villain of the story. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Oh, she's a villain? Okay. I don't know. I guess I don't know. I don't know anything about Carmen Sandiego, I guess, except for the name. Being a thief and a criminal doesn't make you a villain in the story. Yeah, but she's stealing. For what purpose? What purpose is she stealing them, though? Why is she stealing them? Yeah. Yeah, okay, she's self-admittedly evil. Okay, yeah, you hit me to something because I don't know. I guess I never knew anything about the story. I never watched it or read it. I just kind of knew the title. So I don't know. So I guess, is Carmen Sandiego an early example of an anti-hero as the protagonist in like a children's story? Who are you pulling when you watch it? Are you rooting against her? That's the thing. Are you sort of inclined to root against her? Who is the hero? Who are you pulling for when you're watching? So you're pulling for yourself. Okay. Got it. Okay. So here we go. But you admire Carmen Sandiego because she's always traveling, outsmarting her enemies, which I guess it's you. She can disappear when she wants to. Also, steady work. She's always working. Okay. Okay. So for Noma Ancient, said my favorite villain is Joker from DC. I admire his unpredictability and his connection to the storyline of Batman better than Batman even. So unpredictability. Okay. Unpredictability is a trait that you would want. Being smart and working steady is another trait. Persistence is a trait. Billy says, I don't have one. I don't really much stuff like that. Okay. Yeah, I do remember the Batman Dragon. All right. Let's get ready to go into the next one. Thank you so much for the spoons. I really appreciate it. Lady Dom Diana, thank you for joining us. Welcome. We're going to get ready to go into our next prompt. What is something new you choose to start keeping track of? What is something new that you choose to start keeping track of? When you start keeping track of something, when you start measuring your progress, it's a powerful signal that you're serious about what it is that you do. Lady Dom Diana says, I'm going to start keeping track of my dreams. There's a whole section of your existence that exists only in those corners of your mind that you access when you are sleeping. So keeping track of what's going on there might be useful. Lady Dom Diana further says, my manifestations, dreams and manifestations. I want to start keeping track of that. Tim says, I want to start keeping track of what makes my stomach not flat. What do I eat or intake that makes my stomach not flat? I got a couple theories. I don't think alcohol is known for promoting a flat belly. So there's one right off the jump. Beer, liquor, you know. So Miss says, I need to keep track of the spoons I drop on G. So much spoons, so much raining. Well, you don't have to keep track of it. I can just tell you if you want to know. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Lady Dom Diana says, I want to start keeping track of how I spend money. Similar to Miss. Miss has a very narrow thing that she's looking at. But for Lady Dom Diana, more generally, I want to keep track of how I am spending money. One thing to think about too is what gets measured gets managed. Like, you know, the first step in doing it is in trying to get a hold of things is to find out how you want to measure it. And we can have, there's a lot of information out, there's a lot of data out there, right? You can get data from a lot of different places and you can track almost anything. But more important than tracking it is choosing what you want to track, right? Choosing what you want to track. Because you can spend a lot of time keeping up with something that doesn't end up being that important. You know, just because you can measure it doesn't mean that it's important. So choosing wisely what you're going to focus on is an important part of the process. So budgeting and saving, setting some clear targets. I want to save this amount. So Noble Ancient says, something new I've started keeping track of is the kinds of techniques I use to build games as I go. I have a good amount of techniques so far, but I'm much more aware of which ones I use. I think one of the interesting things about being able to keep track, like looking at, social media, for example, they give you a lot of numbers that you can look at. You can look at how many people follow you. You can look at how many people interact with something that you post. All right. There's a lot of, you can look at how many people see what you post. They give you all of these numbers because it's a game, right? But when you're trying to create something, you have to decide which one of those numbers matter. What are you trying to optimize for? What impact are you looking to have? What change are you seeking to make? Who are you seeking to serve? So a lot of times they have what they call vanity metrics. The numbers look good, but they don't really mean anything. So as I sit here right now, I have a vanity metric of 3,998 followers. And that number is a vanity metric because it doesn't have any bearing on the number of people who are present, who are active, who show up. is just it's just a number. Because there's people with many, 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 many more. And there are people with many, many, many less. And the day-to-day experience of what it's like to be in here doesn't have anything to do with that number. So another metric is the ranking. Top one. Oh, how about this? So we doing this thing again. I'm going to have to reset because of course we lost connection, right? We're doing that thing again where I couldn't see the chat. I couldn't see the chat. So I'm back now. Hopefully y'all can hear me. So, okay. So Lady Dom Diana is talking about a whole bunch of different things worth keeping track of. I think when I had to stop, I was talking about the numbers, specifically here on Smoon, for example, for those who are watching and listening there. Wow. Okay. But yeah, top one, what does that mean? Well, the value of being a top one is the increased visibility, but it doesn't have anything necessarily to do with what's actually happening in the stream. So, to be at number one is valuable, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything. It doesn't tell you anything about how well it's going in the stream. So it's valuable to be there, but the number is artificial. Increased traffic. So another number is like the number of likes. That number is meaningful when they are organic, because when you have likes, it gives you an indication of how engaged people are, especially since they give you the multiple likes. Because it lets you know, okay, people came, yes, and then they stayed long enough to like multiple times. So that's an indication of maybe how engaging the content was. But if you get super likes, it doesn't necessarily say anything about the content. It just says that somebody chose to support you. So, a high number of likes is meaningful when it's organic. It's cool when it's super liked, but it doesn't tell you anything when it's super liked. So that's a number, that's a metric, a thing to measure. And that's the primary thing that I measure when I'm looking at the stream, is how many organic likes we get and how many concurrent listeners we get. How many people are in here at the same time? What's that number like? Whose people are here? All right. So one of the valuable things about measuring is it gives you feedback to allow you to get better. So whatever it is that you're choosing to measure, hopefully it is something that you are trying to improve. And a part of the process of achieving excellence in anything is finding the right things to measure, and then being intentional about the progress that you're making in that direction. Excellence is a habit. It's a process that you have to commit to over time, and you have to make choices because you're not going to be excellent at everything. So you have to think about it. What is it worthwhile for me to take the time to do what it takes to get truly excellent at? What is that for you? So for Tim, it's worthwhile for me to become excellent at pleasing the people that I love. I want to take care of the people I love, and I want to get really good at that. I can dig it. So that's a means of being excellent in your relationships. Lady Dom Diana is also saying something about relationships in the chat. I want to track who I'm giving my time to and avoiding negative energy. Avoid that negativity. Like, how do I feel when I'm around this person? And is that what I want? Do I want more of that? Do I need less of that? Emma, thank you so much for the like. I appreciate it. So this is the path to excellence. Noble Ancient says, it's worthwhile for me to be excellent at building quality games and entertaining others through those games. Billy Hurley says, it's worthwhile to be excellent at anything involving creative. I'm up for a challenge. I will encourage you, Billy, to narrow that down a little bit. You don't have to pick something and stick with it for the rest of your life, but it is worthwhile to hone that in and go deep somewhere. Go a little bit deeper somewhere so that the progress that you make can be a little more, so that you can make significant progress in a specific direction. Because if you're chasing all the different things that are creative, it might be a little tough. You might stay sort of just okay, you know? So Chloe is here. Welcome in, Chloe. Thank you for joining us. We're considering the question, is it worthwhile for me to be excellent at what? What is something that you think it is worth the price of excellence? Because it is a price that you have to pay. It's a sacrifice that you have to make. There's time that you have to dedicate towards that thing that you have chosen. But if it's worth it, it's worth it. So I wonder what Lady Dom Diana's dream job might be. So Emma wants to be a master of self-care. I want to get really good at self-care. So, yeah, that entails a lot. Which parts do you think you have in hand? Is it the frequency or is it the method that you think you need to improve on? Because sometimes we know what to do and how to do it, we just don't make the time. So Lady Dom Diana wants to be a medical esthetician. Mo is apparently hard to care for, so it takes a high level of skill to take care of an Mo. You might have to go to a workshop and fill out a worksheet. So for Joe's L, it's great to be excellent at music. I love how therapeutic it is. So excellent at performing music, writing music, selecting music. How therapeutic it is for you, how therapeutic it is for the audience. There's a lot there. There are a lot of reasons to become excellent. And I'm wondering what your area of focus is for that. I mean, I know you play guitar. I know you sing and write. So what are we thinking, Joselle? Enter a Nickname has joined us. Thank you for being here. We have a couple more responses here to consider. Misfire says, I want to become excellent at making sure I follow up. I also want to make my crush happy. Excellent at reading and writing. Reading and writing. So if you want to be excellent at reading, I hope maybe you have a list of things that you need to read, that you want to read. Maybe some things that are going to enhance your personal and professional aspirations. Maybe there's a practice, a daily practice of writing, or consistent practice of writing that's aimed not at getting your ideas out into the world, but at just getting better at writing, period. So Mo says that, yeah, it takes a while to see the results with the things that you're trying to do for yourself. Yeah, I think that there are two sides of that too. I think there are the results of the things that you're trying to do to make yourself better. And then there is the experience while you are doing it, while you are caring for yourself. There is at least there could be some immediate positive experience of doing it. Right? Yeah. So it's worthwhile for me to be excellent at. So we have these things that we know it may take time, it may take effort. Any path of excellence is going to require that. No matter how much talent you are bringing to the table, that talent won't be realized without some effort and some focus and some dedication. But it's worth it. It doesn't matter how difficult it is, it matters how worth it it is. Lady Dom Diana is talking about getting over past traumas, being good at that, excellent at that. There's organic bread in the chat also. So get a slice. All right, here we go. Let's take a second and do a little bit of a recap of where we have been thus far. Okay, we started out by looking at and thinking about what you were willing to try that's outside of your comfort zone. Maybe even thinking about why it's worthwhile to do and try some things that are outside of your comfort zone. And then how we may need to adjust the language and the way that we show up in the world by looking at the things that we are apologizing for that maybe we need not. One of the aspects of villainy is that villains are unapologetic, and maybe you need to tap into your favorite quote unquote villain to get the courage and sort of the fortitude to stand up for yourself. That was the point of bringing in the villains, so that you can embrace your authenticity even when it feels a little uncomfortable. And then the final couple prompts, we're talking about, let's start keeping track of some things. Let's be intentional about progress that we intend for ourselves, and recognizing that even if the journey is long and if the process is arduous and there's a lot of time and patience involved in making it happen, it can be worthwhile. It can still be worthwhile. And if it is, let's get it. Let's pursue that excellence. So those have been the prompts for today. I'm opening up the request box. If you have a key takeaway, whether it's something that you saw in the chat, something that you heard, something that you saw in a reply, what would your key takeaway for today's session be? That's what the request box is open for right now. Let us know if there's something that you want to take away from session number 275. So Mo says we're going to hit 300 in a month or so. Hit 300 what? Oh, 300 episodes. Got it. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Wouldn't that be something? Won't that be something? Key takeaway. So for Billy Hurley, the key for me is that we are all different, and that's okay because we all come together every day or weekday and have fun. Indeed. Yeah. Emma says, I'm excited for 500. Big party. So I'm just curious too. It's interesting. I don't know the pace of it. I was supposed to go to Hawaii for when I got 5,000 followers, and I'm just curious how close I'll be to 5,000 when I hit 500. So that'll be interesting. Noble says, big reach, Emma. Well, I mean, I've been doing it for a year, so it'll happen before another year. I'm over halfway there. Tim says, here's my key takeaway. Get outside the box. Be purposeful with your time. Can I say that? Does that make sense? Also, organic. I'm a 7, by the way. MO, fix your self-care routine. Oh, man. All right. Selena is here, folks. Welcome, Selena. Thank you for joining us. You missed a comma. Yeah, you might have missed a few, but no, you just missed one. Yeah. Noble Ancient says, my woke key takeaway from this organic episode is that my career is approaching one step closer each day. I do something in my dream goal. I like Morning Journal, and I learned so much here. Thanks. Lady Dom, Diana, key takeaway. People need to stop apologizing for being slow. It's okay. Don't apologize for having a disability. Your pace is your pace. No need to apologize for that. So Billy has an interesting comment. Imagine if there was a weekend edition of this. That'd be bittersweet. There is a weekend one occasionally, and there's also the subscriber only stream on Sunday. Yeah. Miss says, G can have all my money. I won't apologize for my existence. I don't want to be good enough. I want excellence. Take my money, G. All right. Jason Lentz, welcome in. Thank you for being here. You came in just in time for a little bit of a recap of today's session. This is also a screenshotable moment. Okay, so let's see here. It's a Friday, and we're going to go ahead and say goodbye to the folks who are watching and listening over on outside platforms. We're going to keep the party going here on Spoon for a bit. If you want to catch the entire experience, make sure that you holler at us in the VIP. You can find the links in your description wherever you're watching. And for you who are on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch and other places, we'll be back to see you again on Monday. And I hope that you have a great weekend.